All right, remember, the machine knows if you're lying. First statement, Carvana will give you a real offer on your car all online.
False.
True, actually. You can sell your car in minutes.
False? That's gotta be...
True again. Carvana will pick up your car from your door, or you can drop it off at one of their car vending machines.
Sounds too good to be true, so true.
Finally caught on. Nice job. Honesty isn't just their policy, it's their entire model. Sell your car today, too.
Carvana.
Pickup fees may apply.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
I know we're going to have good basketball discussion. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So, welcome back. Another Wisco Fanatics Wednesday. Today is almost exclusively basketball. We have 4 Milwaukee Bucks games to cover today, 1 Badger basketball game, and then we have our abbreviated Badgers football preview. So we're starting with the Milwaukee Bucks. We have the 4 games they played in the last week. They went 2-2. We are going to get into some of the nitty-gritty, not looking good for the league stuff. Probably going to be some F-bombs flying, if we're being honest. Because it's not a good look for what the Bucks have been dealing with for the last week. Coming from guys who pretty typically say that you shouldn't put yourself in the hands of officials. We're pretty locked in here. Thankfully, we get to have the Warriors game. That one went well, and then then we get into it. But we're gonna hit the intro and we're gonna start talking Bucks basketball.
Welcome to another episode of the Wisco Fanatics Show, where we cover the Packers, Bucks, Brewers, and Badgers basketball and football teams from an optimistic and realistic perspective.
Wisco Fanatics is brought to you by Cardboard Legacy, Wisconsin's most complete sports card shop. Buy, sell, grade, and consign all at their location in Oshkosh.
Okay, so we're going to start with Bucks and Warriors. This game they played on Thursday without Kevin Porter Jr., obviously, who's going to be out for about 4 weeks, and without Giannis Antetokounmpo. So a very interesting situation where it's like, all right, Bucks are kind of taking a mulligan on this one, and Bucks locked in. So let's start with last Thursday, and what stood out to you from the Bucks win over the Warriors?
Yeah, so before this game even started and we found out that Giannis wasn't playing, you and I were having a conversation, and we both pretty much agreed on everything we were saying. We were saying the same thing with different words. Like, we're about to find out about this Bucks team. We're about to find out about the heart. We're about to find out about the hustle. We're going to find out about the game plan and how they're using these guys, right?
Yep.
And this was the Ryan Rollins revenge game, dude. Obviously, everybody's heard by now, but he was drafted by the Golden State Warriors. And when you're behind Steph Curry and they're in the middle of, they're in probably the second half of trying to rebuild the roster and get the last legs out of Steph Curry and Draymond Green. They don't really have time to, sit around and develop players. And Steve Kerr even said that he liked Rollins, but he's just a guy that had to play. Well, enter him into the Milwaukee Bucks organization, who we tried the Dame Lillard experiment. And while that was all going on, they're developing Ryan Rollins down in Oshkosh. And he was a two-way player last year. He was earning a lot of PT last year, and he earned himself an NBA contract staying on the team at the end of the year. And then he got a new contract, multi-year contract from the Bucks. And on this day, October 30th, 2025, it showed why that was a great decision. 32 points, 3 rebounds, 8 assists. He was efficient from the field, 13 of 21, 5 of 7 from 3. One of those three-pointers was absolutely big time that we're going to talk about, I'm sure. On top of that, you had AJ Green. He's having a rough year defending one-on-one.
He's having a rough year defending one-on-one guys bigger than him.
Yeah, I was going to say he's getting asked to play a different role on defense.
Yeah. He's being asked to do more. I mean, he earned a bigger role, and he's being asked to do more. So
that's fair. That's a fair way to put it. He's just a little bit smaller and not as strong as some of these guys, so they're able to kind of get around him and put him in some weird positions. But the guy that AJ Green is, the attitude that he comes to work with every day, I expect him to, not only improve but become a very good defender by the end of the year. He's still doing his thing. He took 7 shots, all from behind the arc. He scored 10 points. Gary Trent Jr., he hit 2 3-pointers. He had a rough day from the field, but he is he's doing his thing as well. He's defending hard. That's something that I appreciate about Gary is he defends hard. He brings heart. A guy who had a really good game, Miles Turner, shots were finally falling for him. 3 for 6 behind the arc, 7 for 12 from the field, 17 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. He was fantastic. Kyle Kuzma entered him into the starting lineup, and I got to give you credit. I wrote it down. I said, I really like his role this year, the way that they're using him. He looks a lot more comfortable, and I said, I have to give Tyler a lot of credit here. He was spot on, saying that, the team doesn't really have to change how they play when Kuzma's in the lineup because he plays a similar role to Giannis. Now, obviously, he's not an MVP candidate. But
you want a bold prediction?
What's that?
You want a bold prediction?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll say if he gets his shooting efficiency up, he won't be an MVP candidate, but I'll say he could be a 6 man of the year candidate.
Oh, dude, 100% I can see that. I can 100% see that at this point for sure. Like you were saying, if he keeps the shooting up, he can give you 10 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal. He plays tough defense multiple times in this game, rotating, using his length very well, getting to the rim. And I'm okay with him shooting 4 3-pointers. That's an okay number for me. In the flow of the game, here's the thing about Kuzma, and we're going to have a conversation about this later as well. Kuzma shouldn't have a cap on his 3-point attempts. It should go with the flow of the game because I think he's doing a nice job taking what the defense is giving him at this point. So just wanted to lay that out there. Cole Anthony had a really good game as well. Bobby Portis was actually pretty good, 2 or 3 behind the arc. I broke down a couple things here. So I broke down the starters and bench numbers, and I went over some hardcore stats as well. So this was this first of all, I should have started with this. This was Doc's 69th win as the Bucks head coach.
Nice.
Fuck yeah, dude. Milwaukee starter scored 82 points, had 22 rebounds, 18 assists. They shot 48% from the field, 45% from behind the 3-point line, 14 to 31. So that's pretty good. It's pretty good numbers. They made 14 of the 19 threes as they showed they're the starters, right? The Golden State bench, apologize for that. The Golden State bench, our starters had 81 points, 31 rebounds, 17 assists, and they shot 43% and 38% behind the arc. Where the benches, there's a legit case that the Bucks might be the deepest team in the league. I'm being so serious when I say that. And this is with injuries and Giannis out in this game, right?
Right.
So the Milwaukee bench had 38 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists. They shot 47% from the field and 40% from the 3-point line, 6 of 15, 15 of 32 from the field. And Golden State, 29, 13, and 6. They shot 11 of 28 from the field and 5 of 17 behind the 3-point line. The Milwaukee Bucks bench was a massive reason why they won this game. And the play style, the last point I'll make, the play style is really what's going to make the Bucks really good this year. 5 players with at least 6 plus 3-point attempts, and they had 2 others with 4. So 7 of the 9 players, major players that played in this game, shot at least 4 3-pointers. They're running, they're putting up shots, and they're rotating on defense. I like this year's team. If the refs stop screwing with us, I have to set it up.
It wasn't a problem in the Warriors game.
Yeah, I just have to set it up. Go ahead, brother.
So I want to jump in. First, I want to say thanks, Trey. Welcome back. And Steve said Ryan Rollins is definitely a player to watch. He is a player to watch. And unfortunately, as we get into these other couple of games, we're going to see that we're dealing with a little bit of inconsistency. He's 23 years old. Yep. As far as the rotation aspect of this game goes, Kuzma stepped in, like you said, into Giannis' spot in the starting lineup. He playing within his role, 10 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists. Like I said, if he gets his efficiency up, I believe he will be capable of being a 6-man of the year candidate.
Yeah.
If he's giving you like 12 to 15 points, 6 to 8 rebounds, and 4 assists off the bench efficiently, that's absolutely a candidate for that. And what it does for the Bucks offense is like I've been saying for the last week and a half is that it allows everybody else to play the same and not have to change their game based on who they're on the court with. And to this point, Doc Rivers was asked post-game about Ryan Rollins, and Doc Rivers said that they are telling everyone to shoot. Ryan Rollins said after the game that the best shots are open shots no matter who it is. Yes. So to your point on Kyle Kuzma, I don't care if you don't like as a fan that Kyle Kuzma is shooting threes. If he's open, he needs to shoot them. And he doesn't have to make them at a crazy percent. If he makes 35% of his threes, we're good. Yeah. If he makes 2 out of 5 every game, we are good. That is above average. 40% on threes, 2 out of 5. That is above average 3-point percentage. So it's one of those things where people, you gotta be able to let go your feelings on the matter. Pay attention to the numbers a little bit, and I'll give a disclaimer. I understand that Kyle Kuzma has not been a career 40% three-point shooter, so I need this sample size to increase before I need to go as far as saying let it fly. But he needs to shoot the open ones. Every single player on the Bucks needs to shoot the open threes, except for Jericho Sims, but he's not going to be standing on the three-point line. But you know what I mean. So, like you said, the Bucks were 19 of 46 on threes. It's 41.3%, and the Warriors were 13 of 38. The other thing with Miles Turner, like you laid out all of his numbers, he made a clutch three, not just 3 out of 6 threes. He made a clutch three late in the game. Yes, and then I wanted to give credit to the Bucks defense because I will say I don't think this game was like the ref show that we've had in the next 3. The Warriors still doubled the Bucks in free throws. And I get the Bucks were playing without Giannis, so that's a big change. But still. The Bucks defense, I think, did really well even without Giannis on the floor. They forced 4 turnovers in the first 6 minutes of the game. They forced several shot clock violations in the first half. They finished with 22 turnovers, and the Bucks turned that into 27 points off turnovers. That is fantastic.
I had it written down.
Yeah. Gary Trent Jr. had 4 steals, and then the Bucks forced Kuminga and Steph Curry into 5 turnovers each. So I just want to put a pin in that just because I know people are going to complain that Kyle Kuzma had 4 turnovers last night. Jonathan Kuminga had 5 against the Bucks last Thursday playing without Giannis.
Yeah.
So similar archetypes there is why I kind of threw that out there as a disclaimer. Going into this Bucks-Kings game, I'm going to look through my notes and see if I have anything in here that's not related to the refs.
Okay.
The one thing I did write down, Giannis didn't quite look himself. He looked a little bit like he was playing hurt at times. Not as aggressive on either end as I would expect him to be. He did miss some box outs. He settled for some jumpers. I do think a little bit of that is a product of not getting calls. I think that made him settle for some shots, which I think carries over into the Pacers game. Kyle Kuzma, again, I want to give him more credit. He came in the late third quarter, and he was distributing the ball well. And then starting the fourth quarter, he was cooking, scoring everywhere in and around the paint. And I like that Doc Rivers kind of rode the hot hand. In the fourth quarter, Kuzma was 6 for 7 from the field and 4 for 4 of the free throw line. And after the game, Giannis spoke highly of Kyle Kuzma. I get that people want to, be like, oh, we're a Kuzma trade away from being contenders. Like, can we just take a step back and be like, hey, he's doing good things. I get that people didn't like how he was when he came over from the trade deadline through the end of the year, but he has to make a big adjustment coming from one of the worst teams in the NBA to a playoff contender. We'll call it that. I'm not going to go as far and say, they're one of the best in the league, but the Bucks are at worst a playoff contender.
Yeah.
That's a role change. It's a big role change. You see it in his shot selection once in a while. But very good in the Kings game. I have absolutely no complaints. Nobody should have any complaints about the way that Kyle Kuzma is playing right now.
Absolutely not.
Also, to that point, with nobody should be complaining, his role should not shrink, and I don't want his role to get bigger. I don't need Kyle Kuzma in the starting lineup. I want him playing the exact same way that he's playing right now. And then I want a slight tick up in efficiency.
Yeah, he's doing good right now. So why would you want to mess with anything, right? So,
and like I said, with the flow of the game, fine. We're good. Like, I'm interested to see him and Giannis together a little bit more, but he is playing Giannis's primary backup because Bucks feel the need to kind of force Bobby Portis to play center, and I just don't really think that fits him. I think he's more of a power forward, but
he is.
That's kind of where we're at. The only other thing that I really have to say is a lot on some of the free throw stuff. I mean, Ryan Rollins made some bad decisions, taking a fast contested 3 in a 2-for-1 situation. End of the first half, they had some time to get some better looks. Got to stop leaving his feet to pass. That's a theme, especially late in games. Can't be leaving your feet to pass. That's one thing he's going to have to learn. Again, he's 23. He can learn. He can grow. Those are the areas that I'm looking at. I'm just being a little bit nitpicky on him because his role has grown so necessarily with Kevin Porter Jr. out. That those are the things that he's got to improve on.
Yeah.
So say what you want to say about the Bucks before we talk about the fucking ref show that this game became.
Okay. So first, want to give shout outs to Gary Trent Jr. played really, really well in this game. 4-6 behind the 3-point line. He did a nice job spreading the floor. The Bucks had an amazing first quarter in this game. Dominated in the first quarter, came out hot. Everybody was hitting threes. AJ Green had the first miss from 3, our best 3-point shooter. When he got the ball and we were making all the threes, I was like, oh, here comes another one. He is, honestly, he's getting a little screwed this year on some 3-pointers. He's had a couple that are like right on line, and some of them that, like go on the rim and they go and they bounce out. And I'm like, oh, dude, it's halfway down, bro. He's going to get on a heater for like 2 weeks. And people are going to be like, dude, this is Larry Bird.
Yeah. Honestly, and the other thing that I'm like, people are like, oh, he's unplayable. He's a liability. And it's like, I wonder if Twitter would have been a bigger deal in the early 2000s if people would have talked about Kyle Korver like that. And the thing is that AJ Green can actually play a little bit of defense.
Yeah.
And, like, have the receipts. I'm going to tell you right now, I have the receipts. Like, AJ Green is capable of playing good on-ball defense. Right here. That's all you need to do. He cut off the driving lane, didn't get called for a foul. That's great defense.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to talk about that play. Let me.
I have that part clipped separate.
Okay.
So don't worry.
Okay. Oh, man. Yep. Don't get the blood boiling. Let me go through my stuff first. Oh, that's
non-ref stuff first.
Yeah. So Giannis came back 26, 11, and 8. And like you said, he also had a steal and a block. And like you said, I agree. I think that he didn't look like himself. I mean, now 26, 11, and 8, 1 steal, 1 block, 8 of 13 from the field doesn't look like yourself is pretty ridiculous in my opinion. But that's the standard that Giannis has created for himself, and that's the standard that he would hold himself to as well. So I think it's okay for us to do it. You talked about Kyle Kuzma. I wrote that down too, 6 for 7, 4 for 4 from the free throw line. The most important thing for me, he was attacking and making everything on the left side of the rim. All of his paint shots were on the left side of the rim. Both of his elbow jumpers that he made were from the left elbow, and the shot that he made just outside the paint, the little floater he made outside the paint, was also from the left block. So he was attacking left and finishing left. Now, it wasn't all with the left hand, but it's important to know that he could do that. Now the defense has to think about him on both sides of the floor, right? So I love that. You're right. Giannis did talk about him. He talked about his professionalism and his ability to fill multiple roles, starting bench defender. So I love that too. That was one of my main takeaways as well. So I'm glad that you caught that on top of me. So you talked about Ryan Rollins not leaving his feet for turnovers because he had 3. Cole Anthony also had 3 turnovers. So they had 6 of the team's 11 turnovers. Now, these are the guys that have the keys. And the one thing that I think Ryan Rollins and Cole Anthony are doing a really good job of, and what has changed the team a lot, is their pace of play. They've done a very nice job with their pace. They've done a nice job knowing when to attack, when to speed up the defense. When, the other team is kind of lackadaisically getting down the field, getting down the court, and getting to the rim and finishing. Like, there's been a couple times this week already where I'm watching the Bucks and, they're going a little bit cold and the other team's going a little bit of a run, and Rollins will just go down the floor and get a layup for us real quick. And it's like, yeah, that's big time stuff right there.
The next part of that, this goes along with the turnover thing, and this kind of bleeds into more of the Pacers game, is driving towards that. If you were being cut off, because the Pacers have some decent defending guards like Nesmith and Nembhard.
Yep.
you got to make sure that if you're cut off, that you're not having so much momentum carrying you that you're dribbling on the baseline or having to leave your feet and like jump out of bounds to make passes. I saw Ryan Rollins get caught in a couple turnovers doing that too, but that goes to the same thing of control.
Right. So, to kind of defend Rollins a little bit, not saying that you're bashing him, he also had 2 steals with 8 assists, so he played a pretty decent game. Now, the thing that doesn't make sense to me, and we're going to get into the ref show, the thing that doesn't make sense to me is you look at the shooting percentages, right?
Yep.
The Bucks shot damn near 60% from the field. Now, the Kings shot 51.7%, which is almost 52% from the field. So that's pretty good, too. But then you look at the three-point percentage. We shot 47% from 3. How did we lose this game?
To 36% for the Kings.
To 36%. How do we lose this game? We had 22 fast break points to their 7 fast break points. We only had 11 turnovers. They had 10 turnovers. You tell me how the Kings walked away with this win.
So
we're going to get into it right now.
Let's start with a couple things here, because this isn't a ref thing. This is an effort thing. And unfortunately it's at the expense of Bobby Portis, but we gotta just.
The Warriors really struggled.
I need better effort from Bobby Portis here.
That 3-ball to fall, he's got to keep shooting.
Like, I get that Schroeder's faster than him, but I need better effort there.
Yeah.
Similarly, this is later in the game. Like, not even contesting. Like, he's turning around looking for a rebound. Like, he does a good initial first body up, good contact, but no contest. That's effort. You can control that. You can't control refs. You can control effort. That's why we like a lot of the players that we like, is because of their effort.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Everything else that I have from this game is all officiating related. Now, after that AJ Green good defense that I showed happened, this play where this went from what would have been a Bucks ball to a foul and 2 free throws for DeMar DeRozan. For DeRozan putting his face into Giannis's elbow. Giannis didn't even reach there. He's in a legal guarding position. DeRozan headbutts his arm. Like, nothing illegal there. That's not illegal. That's DeRozan, quote, initiating the contact. He wasn't trying to, but that's still DeRozan moving into Giannis's arm. That's not Giannis reaching. And the ball goes off of DeRozan's foot. This play went from Bucks ball to 2 free throws for the Kings.
I couldn't believe that. I was like, what?
There's so many more things in here. Yeah. We can do no calls. This not being called a travel. Do you see that? Watch Sabonis' feet. He does a 1 and then a 1-2. If his feet landed at the same time, he'd be totally good. Left and then left, right. That's a travel. Not called.
But if Giannis did that, everybody would be freaking out.
Yep. Now, that one, I'll even say, you know what? Whatever. Is what it is. The thing that probably bothered me the most, I shouldn't even say the most, because this whole thing just bothered me. This whole fucking game had my blood boiling. How in the ever-loving fuck is this a quote-unquote common foul even after you review it? I get, that you're trying to wrap them up and they're playing the no dunks, the no layups defense. How do you grab a man around the neck/shoulder, not then let him go after you are well past the basket? Any chance of him flipping the ball up is completely gone out the window, still holding on to his neck and shoulder, and that is, quote, common. Get the fuck out of here that is a common foul.
That's horrible.
There are no player altercation, no unsportsmanlike acts that took place.
No unsportsmanlike acts? You're telling me this is completely sportsmanlike for him to grab a guy like that?
Have that referee go do that at LA Fitness, and we'll find out how sportsmanlike it is.
Dude, what is sportsmanlike about grabbing somebody around the neck and the shoulder?
I don't know. It's a great
Like,
question.
The right arm, fine. Right arm around the arms, fine. My problem is the left.
Yeah, my problem is, and that's Giannis's problem too. I guarantee it is.
And then for him to be right here, he's obviously not going up with the ball and getting a continuation foul. Let him the fuck go.
Yeah. Steve, it doesn't even have to be called
It should be a flagrant foul.
It should be a flagrant just because in the rules it says head or neck area contact,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
So, yeah, Steve, you're right. It should be a flagrant.
It should be a flagrant foul.
Flagrant one, because I don't think that there was ill intent to hurt him.
And he didn't wind up. It should only be flagrant because he's around the head and neck.
But when they're out of bounds, dude, it's like, dude. And I knew when that play happened, I was like, well, the way Russell Westbrook is, he wasn't letting go.
Yep. Yeah. That should be flagrant one. There's no reason that he needed to continue holding on to his neck and shoulder. After you're past the basket, let him go.
I agree.
And then for him to be like, no, like you're doing something, like, go away.
I agree. Bro, you didn't get signed for that long for a reason, buddy.
Now,
I forgot about this play for a sec.
I can't do this. That this was called by the league, quote, unsportsmanlike flail. An unsportsmanlike flail. And a technical foul.
What?
Now I get that Gary hits DeRozan. How can you possibly determine intent of that while he's trying to draw a foul?
Bro, you know what that looks like to me? That's like when the older brother hits the younger brother and the younger brother falls down and starts crying really hard even though he barely touched him. Dude, he barely touched him.
That was called an unsportsmanlike flail. That was the second technical foul that the Milwaukee Bucks had. Their first technical foul was on Bobby Portis, who was mad at Domantas Sabonis because he dove on the floor for a loose ball and it was near Bobby's ankle and he almost rolled Bobby's ankle.
And
I'm not mad at Bobby at all for getting that tech because don't do that shit. Don't dive at my ankles. Don't dive at my knees. Don't do that shit.
And you know what my thought was on that play as well is like, dude, we're playing a game the 1st of November. We're not like in the playoff race fighting for seeding or anything like that. Right. What are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah, Steve, it's unsportsmanlike flail is a wild thing to come out with after the game.
And then they see DeMar DeRozan do what he did after nestling his head softly into Giannis's arm. Probably the softest part of Giannis's arm, to be honest with you.
And
but that's not unsportsmanlike.
Now we have to talk to here, like a no call leading to a technical foul. That's not a foul.
Has his whole arm.
Yep.
Has his whole arm.
That's not a foul call. So this leads to Cole Anthony's first technical foul, which absolutely should have been a foul call.
Oh, yeah. I'm not mad at Cole for reacting like that either.
Nope. And then after that, Cole Anthony's second technical comes after this is called a foul.
Yeah.
One out of 74 illegal screens that were set by the Kings this game. And I have plenty of receipts. We're going to talk about a bunch of the illegal screens that didn't get called. Literally shifting his body into Cole Anthony, who was trying to get around a screen, and Cole Anthony gets called for the foul.
Look at the position that he's setting the screen. He literally pushes his bottom half out, which is a moving screen.
That's the definition of a moving screen.
And Cole's just trying to get around, and he gets a foul call.
Cole didn't even foul him. That's barely a bump. That is good defense, dude. That's good physical defense. It's a foul if you want to play super touchy, but that's good defense if that in a playoff game, not a foul. There's nothing being called there except maybe the moving screen, which should have been called because you see his body right now, straight up and down.
Look at his positioning right now.
Dude looks like he's about to start a fucking 100-meter dash.
I agree.
So that led to Cole Anthony's second technical foul. So out of the 4 technicals that the Bucks got called for, I'm really not even mad at any of them.
And you got a tech for waving him off, dude. That is the softest shit ever. He just did one of these.
Yep.
Come on now.
More good defense that ends up getting called for a foul. And unfortunately, this is AJ Green, and AJ Green has been in a lot of foul trouble, but he's getting called for stuff like this. For beating a guy to a spot. Where's their foul? He didn't grab him. He didn't push him. Didn't shove him. Nothing. That's just absorbing contact. How is that a foul?
That is crazy.
The Bucks were called for 5 more fouls in this game. And the wild thing about this is that from the second quarter through the end of the game, the Milwaukee Bucks took 19 threes, right? 19 threes. The Kings in that time took 25 threes. So the Bucks are arguably playing more aggressive. They're playing more inside the three-point line, right? In that time, the Bucks got 25 free throws and the Kings got 30.
How does that make sense?
It doesn't at all. But let's look at more things that were not called. This really pissed me off because if they're going to let people get away with this, it's going to negate one of the big things that the Bucks are going to be doing with their three-point guards, and that's picking up full court, is that Russell Westbrook can just go be a lead blocker. Just lead block right up the court for Schroeder.
Freaking doing his best John Kuhn impersonation right here.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I get that he didn't actually try to set a screen, so you can't necessarily call this a moving screen, but there's no way that should just be legal, that he can just push Rollins as he's going up the court.
I mean, we know what he's trying to do.
We know exactly what he's trying to do. He's lead blocking. So I guess the only thing for Ryan Rollins, and this is a lot to ask, is for him to just plant his feet and see if Russell Westbrook runs him over.
Yeah.
But we shouldn't have to get to that point. With some of the stuff that we're going to talk about with Giannis when we get to the Pacers and the Raptors games, you shouldn't have to fall on the floor for a ref to make a call. Refs should be making these calls to get this dumb shit out of the game so that we're not doing this we're just going to lead block up the floor because they don't want to face full court defense. I don't want guys to have to fall on the floor to sell calls so that they can do the stuff that we should be able to see them do in a basketball game. That's why this pisses me off so much. And the other part of it is obviously this stuff should even out, and look at how Giannis gets officiated versus the rest of the league, which we'll talk about Doc's post-game conference after this game and what he said after the Pacers game. This was if Giannis does this, I guarantee you he gets called for an offensive foul.
Oh yeah,
guarantee it. And Sabonis is going to get called for a shooting foul and get 2 free throws. Watch where Domantas Sabonis catches this ball and what he does with it when he gets it. He just swings his right elbow right up through Amir Coffey's face.
And what is Coffey doing wrong in this situation? He's standing his ground, hands up in the air. Yeah, hands are going to come down when you're getting swung at.
Right through Amir Coffey's face. Should have been an offensive foul before Ryan Rollins got called for a foul. How do you not see that? This guy right here who calls the foul on Rollins for Rollins hitting Sabonis' arm, how do you not see Coffey take an elbow to the chin?
Look at his positioning. There's no way he didn't see that.
And then he's going like this. Because he just took a fucking elbow to the chin from a center. Now, that is not even remotely close to the only time that Domantas Sabonis got away with some bullshit. Now, I'm not even going to get to the moving screens yet because there's more elbows. Again, this is a closer one. Elbow through his face, dude. And why are you asking for a foul because you got hit after that?
You're the one that initiated the contact. Look at that.
Elbow right through his chin. But gets the foul call. Now,
Unreal.
it's another play where Sabonis is going to get away with not one, but two offensive fouls and still get the foul call. So watch Sabonis. He's at the top of the key. AJ and Rollins are defending these three in a zone.
Mm-hmm.
That's one. That's two. And then he gets a call on AJ Green. In what universe is what's about to happen here legal? That's already one.
Okay, so contact is outside the 3-point line. Carries it inside the 3-point line. Is basically holding him.
And now watch. He's going to scoop his arm underneath AJ's arm, and then AJ's going to get foul called for it.
Oh my God, get out of here with that.
So AJ Green, yes, obviously not being called, a great defender so far to begin the season, but I would say he is one of the other guys facing a pretty unfortunate whistle. Now, I swear to God, this happened 12 times in this game. Watch this screen that Sabonis is going to set. He's already leaning, which is already a moving screen. But, dude, he fucking cha-cha slides 2 steps to the left after making contact. How is that not a moving screen? Dude, what the hell?
The video is showing the evidence, so I don't even have to say anything.
And they get a layup out of it.
Yeah.
Bro, how do you see him shuffle to the left twice while engaged with a defender and do nothing about it but swallow your whistle? Unreal that's not an offensive foul, a moving screen.
Yeah.
It's not the only one. Got more. You're supposed to, when you set a screen, most guys put their hands over their junk, and then you wait for the guy to kind of run into you, and you hold your ground.
Yep.
That's how screens are supposed to be set.
Yep.
Not contact, and then, all right, here we go. I'm gonna make sure that you stay engaged on this screen while I take 3 steps back to get my guy going downhill.
His body even turned on that one, dude. His body turned. And ref is right there.
You see where his feet are. Like, he's outside the elbow, obviously. And then where he is when he finally disengages. Like, he's done a full 90-degree turn.
The ref is quite literally staring at him. Because the ball is right next to him. There's zero chance he didn't see that.
And there's no way that you're saying AJ Green is just that strong that he's pushing Sabonis off his spot.
Come on.
No. Now, I just want to show this just because it's some video, type stuff here. So late in the game, right, we get to the last play of the game. Giannis gets a rebound and has a chance to go up for it, but Levine comes down and they rule that it was the hand is part of the ball. This was called a foul. Westbrook gets the hand as part of the ball foul, even though that Miles Turner actually hit his hand after the ball, and after the ball is already out of his hands. That's good defense. Then hits his hand. Westbrook gets a foul call for this. This call is made by the ref that's standing in the background here. You can pretty clearly see that it's ball and then hand, and Westbrook gets 2 free throws for this. But later on in the game, Giannis gets hit on the hand and the ball, and it's not called a foul. 2 more.
Are we going to get to the one at the end of the game with the free throw?
Everybody has seen that one, so I don't actually have that one clipped. But I have two more things that were not called fouls. This is a late game turnover by Gary Trent Jr., and I just want to know how earlier in the game we saw the one where Dennis Schroeder drove into AJ Green, into his body. AJ's hands are out. He didn't bump him, nothing. But Domantas Sabonis is able to two-hand receive Gary Trent Jr. on the body, and there's nothing here. Out of all the things that were called fouls in this game, that's not one of them. And it's a big man guarding a guard far away from the basket with nobody else in sight.
And it's a guy, Sabonis, who's not really known for defense. Let's call it what it is.
And you can see, playing defense entirely with his hands.
Yeah.
Last one that I have, and we'll discuss the end of the game. This, in my mind, should be an offensive foul. And naturally, DeRozan gets free throws out of it. But watch right here. So Gary's reaching right now. But DeRozan's going to pull some sneaky shit. He's been in the league for a long time, so he knows what he's doing here. But this is an offensive foul when you chicken wing and you clamp the guy's arm in, which is exactly what he's doing to Gary Trent Jr. right here, because Gary Trent Jr. can't pull his arm out because DeMar DeRozan is clamped on him right here.
Yep.
And that's how DeRozan gets his foul call. That, in my mind, that should be an offensive foul.
I agree.
Now, end of the game, the last 2-minute report reported that Giannis and Westbrook both entered the three-point line early, which is fine. That would have been a jump ball, whatever. They also ruled that Westbrook grabbed Giannis and that it should have been a foul. I don't know how the hell you miss Giannis getting spun around by a guy who's 8 inches shorter than him. But, I mean, it's 5 inches shorter, but you know what I mean. A guy who's significantly shorter than him getting spun around. If Giannis doesn't get spun around by that and he gets to go straight to the ball and grab it, you're talking about a half a second. He doesn't, Levine doesn't have time to swipe down on Giannis's hand.
Nope. Giannis is probably making that layup.
Gets a layup. And
He's
we're
probably tying the game right there, yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. Give me your thoughts on it, and then I have numbers to present. They're gonna irritate us both, and then we'll move on.
Into the game you're talking specifically? Yep. So my main point is I don't understand how the ref Giannis, first of all, is one of the best players in the league. No matter where you put him, he's one of the best players in the league. Secondly, he's massive. Okay? Now, the way that Doc set this up and the Bucks set this up was beautiful. You bring in Sims, you have Miles Turner. Those are two long, lengthy guys who can jump. You have your most athletic guy who's also long and a super freak athlete coming from the three-point line to try to jump and make something miraculous happen. Now, it looked like that was going to happen if he didn't get grabbed like this. Yep. Like Westbrook was playing tug of war with his left arm.
Yep.
Now, on top of that, Westbrook is obviously African-American. Giannis is wearing a white arm sleeve. How do you not see that? Can you see this?
Yeah.
They're different colors. You can see my hand grabbing my own arm.
Yeah.
How do you miss that?
How do you miss him spinning around like he's trying to break a tackle?
I was so mad when I saw that play. I was like, are they fucking serious right now? After all those missed calls, the DeRozan one in the first half got me going. Because I was sitting back enjoying the game like, oh, yeah, good play, good play. All of a sudden that play happened. I said, what? Then I was sitting up like this the rest of the game. And then I started standing. And then I was pointing at my TV like, what are we looking at? And then I was cussing at my television after Westbrook was not called for that foul. I don't know what they were doing, but with all the allegations going on with the gambling stuff right now, and then you're getting shit like this when the entire premise of the last two off seasons was trying to get Giannis out of Milwaukee, they're not beating the allegations after this game.
Or the Pacers game, which we're going to get to.
It got worse. It got worse.
There is no universe, and I will say the Bucks should have made some of their free throws. Miles Turner had an empty trip at one point. The Bucks missed some of their free throws, which is what it is. But there is no universe where the Sacramento Kings, a team made of guards and a couple bigs, should be shooting 40 free throws in a game. 17 free throws in the fourth quarter. The Kings scored 27 points in the fourth quarter. 16 of them came from the free throw line. The Kings outshot the Bucks 17-10 in the fourth quarter at the free throw line. Overall, the Kings were 35 of 40. The Bucks, and I saw people complaining about the Bucks defense, and it's like, yeah, the Kings scored 135 points, but 35 of them came at the free throw line. And the Bucks still scored 133. The Kings literally made more free throws than the Bucks even attempted. There's no chance to be even there. The Kings were plus 15 at the free throw line in this game. A game that they won by 2 points.
Of the starters for the Kings, Sabonis shot 10 free throws, DeRozan shot 10 free throws, Schroeder shot 5 free throws, LaVine shot 10 free throws. LaVine, who shot 13 of his 17 shot attempts from behind the three-point line, shot 10 goddamn free throws.
And it's not like he's Dwayne Wade, who is known for slashing towards the basket.
Not anymore. When he was first coming up with like the Minnesota first year in Chicago year, he was known for that.
After his ACL, he's been more of a three-point shooter.
He's been more of a, he's going to stay out here. That's less chance for me to, tear some stuff up. Right. Understandable. But 4 shot attempts inside the three-point line, he gets 10 free throws? No.
And I wish I could say it's different in the Pacers game, but it's not. So do you want to just continue the ref show, or do you want to do it like we did the Kings game and do all the non-ref stuff and then go forward?
Let's do all the non-ref stuff first, because I got to say something.
So on the non-ref stuff, now, like I said, when we were talking about Ryan Rollins a little bit before, I get that the Bucks are trying to play fast, and I love that. The pace is better. You get more open looks in transition than you do in half-court offense, but you still have to play under control. And the other part of that, too, is when you're looking at it on the defensive side, you can't wait for the ball to bounce to you to help you start your fast break. You still have to box out and finish the possession with a rebound and then go. You can't just be like, okay, shots up. Let's see where it bounces and who's going to grab it and start the break. Like I like the mentality of thinking about starting the break, but you still have to finish possessions. And then when you start the break, you still have to play under control. Now, Cole Anthony, who I'm going to show because I wanted to point these things out. Cole Anthony did a good job. This is towards the end of the second quarter. This is him and Bobby running some two-man action. Now he's going to spin out of this, drive to the paint, and he's going to kick it back out to Bobby. And they're going to run this play again, basically. Not necessarily a play, but he's going to run the same action. He's going to kind of spin out of it. The last time he kicked it to Bobby. Now this is fantastic court vision. Great work by Cole Anthony. That's a beautiful find. And we'll take Taurean Prince in the corner all day.
Yeah, that's a great pass.
That's great work by Cole Anthony. Like I said last week, I believe he's the most true point guard on the Bucks.
Oh, yeah.
Even when KPJ is back, I still think that's the case. I still think Cole Anthony is like the most complete point guard. Now this is he's on my team, but fuck you, Cole Anthony. This is some shit. So this is awesome and I love it. But it's like, damn, I wish I was as good at basketball as Cole Anthony is. This is shortly after he made a three. This is like the next possession, and there's a lot of congestion. The Bucks are running a lot of half-court offense near half-court, which I don't like, and we're going to talk about that in the Badgers in a minute here because I'm going to say something similar. But this is insane court vision by Cole Anthony. This is shit we see Giannis do, and it's easier for him because he can see over the defense because he's 6'11". This is a wild pass for Cole Anthony to make, and it is awesome. This is like we talked about it kind of coming into the season that Cole Anthony was a really underrated ad. This is awesome. That is an insane pass for that to be on the money.
Yeah.
So good things. Also, this is like this would be like a hockey assist for Cole Anthony, but this is still good stuff. And this is just good offense. Obviously, having Giannis helps because there's a lot of gravity, but that's a really smart screen by Gary Trent Jr. and another easy kick out to Taurean Prince for three. Like, this is just dribble handoff. They do plenty of it. This is a really smart screen by Gary Trent Jr. making the corner guy have to come and help down. If that corner guy doesn't help down, Giannis is breaking the rim.
Yeah.
So right now the guy has a choice to give Giannis a dunk or Taurean Prince a wide open corner three. So that's good.
Bad decision.
I mean, thank you for the extra point, but it's going to work out either way for us. Like Taurean Prince is making so many threes. It's insane.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to give a little bit of credit to Indiana for some good defense, and then I'm going to say something that I say a lot, and that's good offense beats good defense every time. So good offense beats good defense every time. Giannis is directing traffic out here, telling Turner to clear out, telling Taurean Prince to go to the corner. And to the Pacers' credit, their guards, they communicate this well and they defend it well as Cole Anthony's coming to set a screen. But again, Cole Anthony, being a smart guy, goes to set the screen on the other side and now is forcing these two guys to be like, shit, we're not in a position to guard the screen and Giannis. And Cole Anthony gets a wide open three. Good offense beats good defense every time. That's Giannis being a floor general. That's Cole Anthony being smart, and good offense beats good defense every time.
Yeah, he basically did like the opposite of what a big man does when they slip a screen and go to the rim. He just slipped to the top of the key, which was a brilliant move, like you said.
Yeah. So good things there. Loved seeing Kuzma getting more buckets. This game was interesting. An 11-0 run tied the game at 109 until Miles Turner got a layup off of a Cole Anthony airball that ended an almost 4-minute drought for the Bucks. That was followed by a huge Gary Trent Jr. 3, and that's kind of where I thought, okay, the Bucks are going to salt this one away. And we'll see how the rest of the game goes. We'll talk about that. Cole Anthony was a team-high +4 in the second half. He was 2 for 3 from the three-point line, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, 1 steal, all in the second half. Other than that, everything else I have to say is about officiating and free throws, except for the flagrant foul that Nesmith gets called for. So say good things. Let's talk about the flagrant foul, and then let's talk about more ref show free throw bullshit.
Okay, first thing I'm going to say is shame on the Indiana fans. Shame on them. Zero chance that you should have booed Miles Turner. Zero chance. Oh, he leaves and then he talks shit about our players. Brother, do you understand that there's only been 6 people that have played 10 years of service for the Indiana Pacers? And Miles Turner is one of them? He's one of 6 players to ever play for your goddamn franchise. Played 10 years.
Yeah.
And in today's day and age, and we get hold the same sentiment for Giannis. In today's day and age where players are dropping like flies all over the place, going to this team, playing for 17 different teams, he chose to stay there.
Yep.
And he did take pay cuts. And he did give his blood, sweat, and tears to you guys.
Yep.
He did survive a lot of trade deadlines. I remember almost every year he was on the trade deadline.
Yep. The thing with that is that it's a double-edged sword where, like, you complain about the guy that left. Do you think when people see the way that you treat guys that leave that people are going to want to go there?
Exactly. So that's my first point. And I loved Giannis. Okay, so there was a big point in this first quarter where, first of all, Miles Turner had 4 blocks in the first quarter. He was dominating right away. And he had a moment where, obviously he did the closed book,
Yep.
emote on the Indiana fans.
Yep.
And immediately in the first quarter, after getting a couple blocks, he hits a big-time 3. The literal next possession, Giannis comes down and fucking yam sauces all over your center. And I'm like, oh. And Giannis gives him one of these, boo.
Yeah, and I saw so many Pacers fans being like, oh, Giannis said be humble in victory. And it's like, he probably would have been until you talk shit about his teammate by booing his teammate. Now he chose his teammate over your feelings.
Be humble in victory? Why don't you tell it to Halliburton's dad? How about that?
And Miles Turner talked about it post-game. He said that it meant the world to him that Giannis put on a demonstration like that because Giannis was doing it in support of his teammate. And Giannis's teammates take precedence over Pacers fans' feelings.
100%. I 100% agree with that.
Tomorrow on ESPN, Giannis to the Knicks.
Exactly.
Even though he's jealously defending his teammates.
Seriously. So lots of stuff happens in between there, right? We could talk about a lot of things that happened in this game. The Bucks shot amazing from the three-point line. They made 20 3-pointers out of 47 attempts. The Pacers were 8 for 33, so the Bucks are plus 36 from the three-point line. Points in the paint, the Bucks only had to score 38 because they made 20 3-pointers. The Pacers scored 58 points, so the Bucks are minus 20 in the paint and plus 36 from the three-point line. Yeah, that's a trade that I'm willing to take because we have a guy that's going to get downhill and score in the paint.
Yep.
Hate to break it to you, but if you let everybody go off from behind that three-point line, we still have a guy that's going to kill you inside.
Yeah.
Perfect game plan. They did such a good job. This is such an underrated job by Horst building this roster.
Yeah, I agree.
That's probably something that we should probably start pushing. Fast break. Bucks have done a really nice job this year pushing the pace. 23 fast break points compared to the Pacers, who were the ones that really kind of started this trend over the last couple of years of pushing the pace. Now, I understand Halliburton's out, but you still have a lot of the same players there. Outside of Halliburton. And, their identity's still there. And, obviously Miles Turner is on our team now. But 23-11, we whooped them in fast break points. That's crazy. That might just be that the Bucks are a lot younger and they can get back on defense. Crazy concept to think about, right?
Part of it.
So we can go back to talk about the technical flagrant if you'd like to do that. I could talk about one thing real quick.
Okay.
So the starters for the Bucks scored 76 points, 28 rebounds, 18 assists. The starters for Indy had to score 95, 32 rebounds, 19 assists. They shot 45% from the field, 23% behind the three-point line. The Bucks shot 50% from the field, 40% from the three-point line. That's the starters. The bench, this is where it's really big. Indiana scored 20 points. They shot 37% from the field and 27% behind the three-point line. The Bucks bench 41 points,
nice,
44% from the field and 47% from the three-point line. They were 8 of 17. They made as many threes on the Bucks bench that the Pacers made total as a team.
Love that. So the Pacers did turn 14 offensive rebounds into 20 second chance points. I need them to cut that down by 5 to 7. And the guy that I'm going to challenge there is Bobby Portis. He's been a walking double-double over the last couple of years, and now suddenly because he's not scoring, he's not getting rebounds either. I'm challenging Bobby Portis to go get some defensive rebounds.
I agree.
That said, we have to have the whole conversation again on free throws and fouls. And I have a big old bundle of stupid numbers that should not be true in a game where the Milwaukee Bucks are playing the Pacers and 3 of their bigger players are up.
Yeah.
So we'll start with the fourth quarter because there is a little bit of a thing here where the Bucks shot 8 free throws in the fourth quarter and the Pacers shot 6. So fourth quarter, Bucks are up 8-6. You look at the second half free throws, the Bucks also shot 8 and the Pacers had 15. The Milwaukee Bucks did not get a free throw attempt in the third quarter. And if you remember, they showed it on the screen that during the second quarter, the Indiana Pacers attempted 17 free throws and the Milwaukee Bucks attempted 1. So you're telling me that between the second and third quarters, that the Indiana Pacers attempted 26 free throws and the Milwaukee Bucks got 1.
Which team had a superstar on their roster?
Which one also has a team like a superstar that is known for going to the rim and playing through contact? You're telling me that in 24 minutes there was a plus 25 advantage at free throws. That is insane.
Interesting.
And the fact that with the free throws that the Pacers got 17 of them in the second quarter. So you're looking at 2 of the last 3 quarters that the Bucks had played at this point, being the fourth quarter against the Kings and the second quarter against the Pacers. At 2 out of those 3 quarters, their opponents shot 17 free throws in a quarter. If you look at that over a game, that's a 68 free throw pace. 17 free throws in a quarter is a pace of 68 free throws in a game versus the Sacramento Kings and the Hospital Pacers. Why the fuck are there that many free throws going up against the Bucks?
It's a great question.
The percentage of points from the free throw line. The Milwaukee Bucks are at 28%. Sorry, they're number 28 at 13%. The league average is 17.6. The Milwaukee Bucks opponents are number 4 at 20.5%. 20% of the Bucks opponents' points are coming from the free throw line.
Jesus.
And 13% of the Bucks points are coming from the free throw line. 28th in the league. You're telling me a team with Giannis is shooting the 28th lowest percentage of their points coming from the free throw line. I get that the percentages play a part in that, but damn. Now, free throws a game. The Bucks are 26th in the league at 23.1 free throws per game. The Bucks' opponents are number 4 in the league at 30.4 free throws a game. This was the second game in a row where their opponent made more free throws than the Bucks even attempted. And the Bucks are being, on average, outshot at the free throw line in attempts 30-23.
That is...
Looking at the fouls drawn from this Bucks-Pacers game, Isaiah Jackson and Quentin Jackson drew 5 fouls each. Who? Isaiah Jackson and Quentin Jackson drew 5 fouls each?
I can tell you right now, that's neither of the Jackson 5, so I have no idea who they are.
Nesmith drew 6, Siakam drew 7, Giannis drew 8. Now, nobody else on the Bucks got more than 3 foul calls. The Milwaukee Bucks had 3 players with 4 fouls and 4 players with 3 fouls. The Indiana Pacers had 5 players with 3 fouls. Wow. The Indiana Pacers attempted free throws in this game at a 42% rate. The Milwaukee Bucks at a 25% rate.
Holy hell.
That is a 17% difference in free throw attempt rate in this game. And as we go to last night's game, which is going to be the shortest, probably Bucks recap that we do this entire season, is basically, to me, my big takeaways were, one, the Bucks looked like a team that was shooting threes on the second night of a back-to-back. They were 11 of 38 from the three-point line, 28.9%. And Giannis is still not getting foul calls.
Yeah.
The guy running into him as he's going to go and like shoot a heave before halftime, not being called a foul. The fact that it's taking 4 guys hitting him simultaneously for him to get a foul call under the basket. Just blatant like pushes in the back as he's trying to get position in the paint to go up with the ball. I mean, I get that the NBA is dealing with a gambling thing right now, but they're going to have to address it if this continues for another week. Because these last 3 games, the lack of foul calls for Giannis has been absolutely ridiculous for one of your league's most aggressive players for playing through contact. And then flipping that around and a ref saying to Doc Rivers, who I'm very glad called this shit out after the Pacers game on Monday, saying to Doc Rivers that we are not calling fouls because he's playing through them is some of the biggest bullshit I have ever heard. And it is the only thing where I've ever been like, okay, I understand why people don't like watching the NBA. Because that statement right there is telling me that you are rewarding people who flop and sell fouls, and that is some bullshit. Thoughts?
So my initial thoughts are that there was 2 guys specifically off the bench who were absolutely freaking horrendous in this game. Now, obviously, I'm not going to put too much stock into this game. It's the second night of a back-to-back. I actually texted this to you earlier. Taurean Prince and Bobby Portis combined for 1 for 13 from the field and 0 for 10 from the three-point line. So they were bad, right? They were horrible. So outside of that, a positive takeaway is Miles Turner, Gary Trent Jr., and A.J. Green combined for 7 for 12 from the three-point line. And the rest of the team made 4 threes, that means. And half of those 4 came from Kyle Kuzma, who, by the way, just got into a Twitter beef with my boy who was controlling the show's X account. Got into a Twitter beef with him talking about how they don't want Kyle Kuzma shooting threes. And then a couple nights later, he goes 2 for 5 on a night where the Bucks are horrible from 3.
Give me 2 for 5 literally every single night. 40% is well above average. League average is right around usually about 36%.
Yeah.
Kyle Kuzma's like career average is like 33, 34. Give me 40. And again, I understand. And I said this to the person that I got into it with. I understand that Kyle Kuzma is probably not going to shoot 40%, but he's doing it right now. So I need to see the sample size increase. I said this to you. I'm not saying he needs to let it fly, but he needs to shoot the open ones. And there's nobody who should be complaining about anything that Kyle Kuzma is doing right now.
Yep.
Except for maybe the turnovers. But that's, again, we're on the second night of a back-to-back. People aren't shooting well, and they're trying to push the pace. He had some rushing, out-of-control turnovers. Some like he got stripped because he's trying to dribble a little bit too much. Like that to me is also part of the I was on a shitty team with the ball in my hands all the time. Like I gotta trust that I'm a cog in a bigger machine now.
Yeah. So I got two last things I'm going to say. One, I counted all the foul calls over the last 4 games. So over the last 4 games, the Milwaukee Bucks have been called for 102 fouls. The opponents have been called for 85 fouls. That is 17 more fouls. So when you said 17% before, I was laughing a little bit. That is 17 more fouls for the Milwaukee Bucks. And Giannis has played in 3 of those fucking basketball games. Last thing I'm going to talk about, and I wrote this in capital letters. What in the actual fuck is going on? Why is Giannis being mugged like a person being robbed of all of their belongings? Is there an agenda to get him out of Milwaukee? Because it sure looks like it. In the era of loyalty, we're allowing people to just straight up mug my boy. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm about ready to, if this happens in Milwaukee and I'm there, I'm about ready to go on the court and fight for Giannis. Leave my guy alone. I will fight a 6'7" dude. I don't give a shit.
We are literally at a point where, like, legitimate beat writers, I'm not talking like podcasters like us are questioning refs, like Eric Name, like the Bucks, I would say their lead beat writer from The Athletic is wondering what the hell is going on.
Dude, Giannis literally got slapped like 17 times on one possession. The Bucks are down by what were they down at this point? I think they were down by 20 plus. So Giannis is still playing hard.
Yep.
Right? This is in the first half, I believe. Giannis is playing hard. Getting slapped, mugged, pushed from the back. They're getting the ball. And nothing.
And then the ball gets stripped away from him and there's no call. And then he touches Brandon Ingram's hip as he starts to drive away, and that gets called for a foul.
Dude, I was like, at that point, I had to shut it off because I was like, dude, I'm gonna fucking throw my remote through this TV right now.
Yep, same thing. And for me, it wasn't even that I was mad. It was like, all right, second of a back-to-back, and this bullshit's still going on. So I'm just.
No, I was like legit pissed off. I'm like, dude, what are we doing right now? Why is this happening?
You know this because I was texting you the whole time, but my blood on Monday night, between the Kings game to the Pacers game, boiling.
The Pacers game, I was telling you, I was like, all right, I'm like trying to control my emotions. I was like locked in. I wanted to win, right? Like real bad. And like Giannis bailed us out. Crazy shot, his 6th game winner of his career, by the way. Forgot to mention that before. But he bailed us out. But I was like trying to control my emotions because if I would have let my emotions take over, I would have been in the same seat as you. So like when you were telling me that you were like my blood is boiling, I was like, all right, I got to remain even keel here for my boy. Otherwise, we're both going to lose our shit.
And that's the thing is like, you'll be hard pressed to find a couple guys who stay level headed as much as we do. And we pride ourselves on that.
Yeah.
But dude, if we are getting pissed, if beat writers are questioning what the hell is happening, like the league's got to say something. Somebody's got to come out and be like, hey, we've seen some inconsistencies with the way the Milwaukee Bucks games have been officiated and do something about it. Yeah, the Bucks do get a little bit of rest. They're off until Friday. They play the Bulls on Friday. Then they play the Rockets on Sunday. And then they go at Dallas on Monday, which is super annoying. You get a north to south travel on a back-to-back, which is annoying, but it is what it is. So only 3 Bucks games next week. And other than that, anything else you want to say on the Bucks before we bring in Mike and talk Badgers?
Well, one last thing I'll say is I was telling you after the Kings game, I believe it was, even before the Pacers game, I said, dude, Doc has to come out and he seriously has to take a fine. He has to say something. And he did. He didn't get fined, but he did say something.
Yep.
But it's to the point now where if this drags on for another week or two, I think that a lot more than Doc Rivers is going to be coming out saying some shit, and they're going to start sending some evidence in, I think, and this might be something where having a little bit of an obnoxious owner might help us, but I think Jimmy Haslam might say something. Dude, he's got some of the deepest pockets in the league. So my boy, dig down deep and take one for your star player because he's making you your coin.
Yeah. And they don't have to spend it in the luxury tax this year. So
very true. So
all right.
Consider that the luxury tax.
Yeah. So we're going to switch now. We're going to stay in basketball. We're going to switch to the Badgers basketball. We're going to bring in Mike, and I'm going to let Mike start. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to let Mike start. Talk about the guards against Campbell from Monday.
Hold on. Before you go, Mike. You rock the goatee. We switched roles, my boy.
Dude, I thought that like right away. I think you had that like last week or something like that. I forget. I saw, or was it a couple days ago you shaved?
No,
I saw it.
Dude, because I took a photo. So I was giving my daughter, this is a crazy story, but I was giving my daughter a bath because she's been sick for like the last week, right? So we've been trying to give her warm baths, loosen it all up, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden she was asking me a question, and I didn't realize that I had the wrong head on my shaver, and I went, and I looked back and I said, oh, shit. And like, I try not to cuss in front of my daughter, but I said, oh, shit. And I looked over at her, and she just stared at me like, Daddy, you look weird. And I'm like, you just wait, girl.
It's going to get weird.
I had to talk about it. I was like, hey, Mike's going to like the goat, dude. But
anyway, I saw that right away. I'm like, oh, damn. Okay.
Go ahead, my boy.
I like it. It looks good on you. Oh, man. No, I mean, I'll get into it. Badgers obviously got a nice big win, 96-64 the other day. I'll be talking about the guards. It starts first and foremost with probably one of the most important pickups from the transfer portal, Nick Boyd, starting point guard. Played it 28 minutes in his opening game. Scored 21 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. Pretty solid opening night. 7-7 from the free throw line specifically. It's kind of a breath of fresh air with him right now, because I know we've had a lot of great point guards, obviously, in the past at Wisconsin, but I think in terms of quickness and maybe athleticism to some extent, Nick Boyd is providing an upgrade in that regard. Literally the first 2 buckets of the game were out in transition, and he dribbled them both times from full court to the bucket for layups. That doesn't really have, like I said, we've had great point guards, but no point guard necessarily did that for us, I guess you could say, right? Just take it full court, take it right to the bucket. So that's a breath of fresh air. Badger fans are gonna see that a lot this season too. He's the guy that's gonna want to push it no matter what. And it seems like when he's dictating the offense, sometimes he's like one step ahead of like he expects players to go, and sometimes that causes some confusion. But as what we're going to talk about, I know at some point they're just all figuring it out right now, right? They're figuring out who each other is at this point at each position. So, very good at getting to the bucket. Has no problem getting in a guy's face too on defense. And I guess the biggest question is really after this going forward, even after watching the Oklahoma game, Platteville, and even last night, he has such a strong left hand. I'm just curious, like when they start to play better teams, how they're going to defend him, because even when he goes to the bucket on the right-hand side, he always puts it up with his left hand. I would like to see going forward to see if there could be maybe a little bit of a right hand, so to speak, but he's just so dominant on his left side. But it's great for this offense that we run because it's so spread out. So he's going to have I do understand that's going to cause him to get a lot of opportunities, kind of one-on-one, get to the bucket if the defense decides not to help out. I just do know there's going to come a point, whether we play like a BYU or a Big Ten team specifically, what's that going to look like when they know how to defend his left hand a little bit better. But no, I mean, all in all, good start for Nick Boyd. I mean, you can't really ask for much better for an opening night game. So, and then next I'll go into a Jack Janicki. Any Badger fan who paid attention to basketball last year, I think you can attest that this is going to be the the glue guy, the dirty work guy. He's going to go to the floor. The guy who's going to do anything for the W, right? It's kind of like the Carter Gilmore, I would say, not necessarily the position, but just the guy.
Carter Gilmore, I agree.
Yeah, mentality.
Yeah,
for sure. And I also compare him a little bit to Kamari McGee too, in terms of we're going to need him to hit some clutch shots for us this year. Yeah. I mean, Kamari McGee's nickname was Corner 3 McGee. He did that a lot for us last year. I expect Jack Janicki to step in that kind of a role this season, because he's going to be the first guy off the bench, if not Braden Carrington. So it'll be 6 or 7, whatever. Still one of the first guys off the bench.
Hands didn't even try.
But no, just a guy who does have a high floor, not necessarily a ceiling, just a high floor, I think, ultimately. And he's going to show, just more glimpses of those clutch moments, I think, not just this season, but going forward. A good example that's going to be from the Purdue game last year at Purdue, when he just came in after Kamari McGee got kicked out in the game, and he comes in, drops 13 at Purdue. We're going to see more moments like that from him this year, not necessarily in points, but 17 minutes on Monday, 3 points, 2 rebounds, and 4 freaking steals, which is nuts. That all occurred in the first half too, I believe, which was impressive in itself. But no, just the glue guy for this team. Badger fans are absolutely going to love him. So, and then finally, Hayden Jones. Badger fans might not know him. He's a true freshman point guard from New Zealand. He only played 6 minutes, but 2 rebounds, 1 assist. You could definitely tell that Greg Gard was trying to establish that backup point guard. And I do know he tried a couple times to get Hayden Jones involved a little bit, but I think he's still trying to get comfortable playing, in the big time under the lights, I think, based off of what I saw, because he picked up 2 quick fouls right away and just probably like the change of pace too a little bit and whatnot, but not quite comfortable yet. But, I think going forward, he's going to have opportunities, especially before we're going to have a handful before that BYU game. So, no, he'll be fun to watch. He's probably going to be right around the 10th man, I would say, right now. So.
Yeah, I'm going to jump in on the wings, and I'm going to start with Andrew Rohde just because you mentioned a guy named Kamari McGee, and I feel like Andrew Rohde has kind of like a similar, like you said, floor, but kind of a role. So the reason I say this is because Andrew Rohde, he did impress me with his on-ball defense. That's something we kind of noticed a little bit as we were watching some film as he was transferring in. But he had 3 steals to go with 5 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists. To me, that is kind of like Kamari McGee, where he's going to come in and stuff the stat sheet, but it's going to be a little bit of everything versus like a guy like John Blackwell, I'm going to talk about in a minute, who is stuffing the points in the stat sheet. So like some of this, and then you look at the game and you go, wow, and be like, oh, he only had 5 points and 2 rebounds and 2 assists, but he also had 3 steals. Then you're like thinking about it, like he had his fingerprints all over the game. That's kind of how I'm feeling about Andrew Rohde.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Braden Carrington, I think he's a nice spark plug. I like his drive and kick mentality. He made both of his shots and had an assist. Those are my main takeaways from Braden Carrington. John Blackwell.
He's good.
Real good.
Not bad.
He hitting threes, contested threes, an absolutely filthy, disgusting step back 3. We saw the mid-range that we heard a lot about. He had 17 points in the first half already on 5 of 9 shooting, was 2 for 4 from the 3-point line, and made all 5 of his free throws. That's great work by John Blackwell. In the second, I think he showed he can be a closer, hitting late threes, scoring at all 3 levels, finished 10 of 19, 6 of 11 from the 3-point line. Damn. Yeah. And still all 5 of his free throws. He finished with 31 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal with a wrap on his shooting hand.
Yeah, that was interesting to see that.
So, great work on the wings. I'm going to let Jake talk about the bigs, and I just want to throw a couple things out with.
Yeah, so I'll start with Austin Rapp. 29 minutes, 13 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists. He's going to shoot so many freaking three-pointers, dude. He is going to be pick and pop, shooting threes. He has a lot better court vision than I kind of give him credit for, I think. I think I disrespected him a little bit, to be honest with you. I feel bad. And I'm just going to go right into Nolan Winter because I'm going to correlate those two together. Nolan Winter played 31 minutes, had 17 rebounds, 17 points, 12 rebounds, and an assist. My fault. He had a steal. He did have 4 turnovers, though. That was probably the worst part about his game. He played a lot stronger from what I saw compared to last year. He looked a little bit stronger to me. I think that him and Rapp, they did have a few possessions of nice 2-man game. I think I'm going to watch that development. That's going to be very interesting because Rapp's got a little bit of a handle, and the 4 assists shows me that he has the ability to pass the ball. Obviously, you could do a lot of stuff with both those guys. Nolan Winter is a guy that could pop and he could dive. Rapp wants to dive, but he could also get to the rim. He's a big, lengthy guy. If they get a mismatch with those two, that could be an interesting development. And instantly, I know that it's probably not going to be to the same extent because they have different roles. I thought of Michigan last year with their big men.
Oh, I like that.
Oh,
and the thing is, Rapp can shoot a little bit too.
Winter can put the ball on the floor too. We've seen that development over the last couple of years as well. So I mean, I like
the Michigan comparison.
I like the potential of that 2-man game. That could be big for the Badgers going later into the season. I'm going to talk about big old Garlock. First of all, great name for a center. Got to start with that, right? That's a great – can you imagine being a 7-footer and your name is Garlock? This is my paint. I defend paint. I am Garlock. Like, dude.
Dude, if you put, like, his first initial and his last name next to each other and, like, his name is almost literally Warlock.
Yeah.
Dude, so serious. So he only played 10 minutes. He didn't score, but he had a rebound, 2 assists, and he had a block. The thing I'm going to say about him, I think he has the potential to become a dark horse X factor for this team. Just because of size.
100%.
And if he rebounds well, right?
Yep.
The thing that I liked from what I saw and the things that I was really focusing on in his 10 minutes was he understands positioning. That is very hard for young guys to understand, especially at the speed. He's going to have to get the feet a little bit quicker. He's going to still struggle with those speedy guards, but clearly why they're playing, they're speedy and they're hard to guard. But Will Garlock, I think, has a chance. Now we get to be Lauskas, right? He played 7 minutes. He played some early minutes. From what I saw, he's strictly a project player, in my opinion. I understand that guard was trying to, play with some lineups, see what fits, see what, like when you try to, put some Legos together, right? Put some put this here, put a puzzle together, blah, 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 right? That's kind of how I feel about him. I will be watching, his development as well, but I think that Garlock, Winter, and Rapp are going to be the main 3 people that I have to talk about this season. So I'm interested in that 2-man game. That was my biggest takeaway.
Overall, the Badgers, they did not allow a field goal in the final 10 minutes and 34 seconds, only allowed 2 points in the final 8 minutes and 38 seconds, and that was 2 free throws that came with 3:36 left to go. Meaning the Badgers had forced droughts of 5 minutes and 2 seconds and 3 minutes and 35 seconds over the final 10 minutes, where they outscored Campbell 31-4. The Badgers won the turnover battle 9-19 and outscored Campbell on points off turnovers 31-14. Overall, with the Badgers, in my opinion, I think they're still playing a little bit too far away from the basket in the half court and fouled a little bit too much. But overall, not a lot to complain about. Badgers have 2 games between now and next week. They play Friday against Northern Illinois, and then they play Tuesday versus Ball State. So we will have 2 Badger basketball games next week.
Yes.
We will also have a Badger football game. And again, we're in the abbreviated recap or the abbreviated preview. As far as the Badgers offense goes, for me, looking at the pass game, honestly, to be honest, I'd be happy if we can get 200 yards passing. It sounds like it's going to be Hunter Simmons starting. I wish Carter Smith would get a shot, but he's not on the 2 deep depth chart. So I'd be happy if we can get 200 yards passing offense. Mike, what are you looking for a goal in the run game?
Yeah, I don't trust that. I don't trust what the staff comes out with. Apparently, at this point, I honestly don't, because technically we don't have to disclose anything until like 90 minutes before kickoff. Honestly, so yeah. I looked at that depth chart. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like, dude, this isn't right. This isn't right. This isn't right. You haven't said it was yet, but I mean, it is what it is. I'm not going to get into a conversation about what Luke Fickell said and whatnot, but no goals. I mean, shit, man. I mean, there's at least a little bit to build off that Oregon game in the running back room. I mean, Gideon Atuka made his debut. Tell you what, man, he had some hard runs, and I piggyback off of what Jake's going to talk about the O-line. I mean, there's glimpses of life in this game, believe it or not. There really, really was. Gideon Atuka, 21 carries, 85 yards. He had a nice 18-yard run as well. So definitely has a little bit of burst. He came in right around 230 pounds, give or take, before he came into Wisconsin. Now they got him down to about 216, 217, what he was saying, I think, when he was talking to Evan Flood in a conversation when I was listening to yesterday. So definitely a little quicker now and everything. He talked about that a little bit too with going through the program with Coach Collins and whatnot. But I mean, no, man, just turn it loose to him. I mean, go off of what worked for you against Oregon too. So that's really all I really have to say. I mean, if Yak's healthy, yes, you do play him a little bit. If he's banged up, I wouldn't be surprised to see a guy like Jackson Ager gets a little more involved too, just to help out. Because we did have to play a walk-on too at one point, Grover Bortolotti in that game against Oregon, which was interesting because that's like the 5th guy. It's like, God damn, we're banged up. But No more Dylan Jones this season too. I don't know if anyone else caught that. He's got some turf toe. So unfortunately his season's lost. I haven't heard anything about Darian Dupree yet. But who knows what happens. But Gideon Atuka's got the hot hand. I expect him to get probably 20-plus carries again.
Yeah. Yep. So in terms of the offensive line, you got to be able to run the ball against a team like Washington. That's going to be a tough task. They are the 19th ranked run defense in the league. They only give up 103 yards per game on the against the run. The Badgers only average 109. I'm not going to say their ranking because that really pisses me off. It's a really tough task. But if you want to try to win your first game, your first Big Ten game in over a year, you got to dig deep and figure it out. Just for context, Washington is 85th in the country against the pass. They give up 230 yards a game in the air. So a little bit of balance would be nice, but you're not going to have balance unless you can run the ball, and this is a tough team to run the ball against.
Yeah, Washington comes in now number 24 as if the Badgers needed to face another ranked opponent.
Dude, I was literally thinking that when I was looking at this. Yeah. I was like, Illinois could be ranked in a couple weeks. Minnesota could be fucking ranked. And
Iowa's going to be ranked.
Iowa was like number 20 on the playoff.
I think Iowa's got a legit shot to beat Oregon.
They do. If they beat Oregon, they're going to move up to like number 13, dude.
So it's one of the things where then, like, obviously this would be some hindsight, but you're going to look back and be like, oh, yeah, Iowa ended up ranked that year too.
Yeah. So
Jake, what's your goal for the defensive line?
So my goal for the defensive line, now this is a Washington offense that averages 438.6 yards per game, which is 28th in the FBS. You got to try to play inspired football like you did against Oregon. You got to try to play with your hair on fire, making some tackles for losses. I would like to set the goal at 300 yards for this game. Give your offense a chance. If you hold them around 300 yards, that's 138 yards off of their average, which would be insane. You're giving your offense a chance if they can run the ball to kind of pull up an offset. And then the last thing that I wrote down, I kind of gave him 2 goals. I cheated a little bit. It would be nice to create some pressure and force some turnovers. Wisconsin is number 125th ranked team in turnover margin at -8. And Washington is the 29th ranked team. Washington's middle of the pack are good at everything. They're +4 in the turnover margin. Can we just get back to where Washington is, please? That's my goal at this point. Let's get back there.
Looking at the linebackers, ideally, I'd like to see, it's going to be Mason Posa and Cooper Catalano getting a lot of playing time. I'd like to see them making some plays, do something splashy. That's all I want. I just want to see a couple flashes in the pan. Earn some spots for 2026. That's where we're at already.
Yep.
Is looking at next year. I mean, Mike, same thing with Gideon Atuka. I mean, if he's a guy who can flash and they can be like, hey, we want to give you a bigger role next year, so stick around. That's basically what I'm looking at with these young linebackers.
Yeah.
Mike, what are you looking for from the secondary?
Yeah, man. I mean, Washington's quarterback's pretty decent, right? 5th or 6th in the Big Ten. Oh, he's got 2,117 passing yards, 14 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, averages about 265 yards a game. So, looking at some of these games, like when he's on the road, I want to see our senior vets actually step up and somehow and just create turnovers and make some big time plays, because Washington, as you see it, you go through their schedule. When they travel across country, they do tend to struggle a little bit. They went on the road to Maryland. They were down 20-0 in the fourth quarter, and they made a stupid comeback to win 24-20 in that game. They go to Michigan. They get their ass kicked, lose 24-7. Demon Williams is the quarterback. He was 20-32, 209 yards with 3 picks. So I'm thinking maybe can we get a little deja vu again, travel cross country at Wisconsin, and fuck up a little more, right? So I would like to see, I'd like to see Rico, guys like Rico Hallman, Austin Brown, Preston Zachman hasn't been ruled out yet this week, but they won't announce it until 90 minutes before kickoff. But these guys got.
I want to see them out there.
These guys got 2 more home games left. Two home games left, man. Like why not just go ball out? Technically, you guys still have a shot to go to a bowl, so I expect all hands on deck, no matter what. But yeah, man, I'd like to see some senior leadership step up in this one ultimately.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. No matter what, we got a whole bunch of basketball next week, so we got that going for us. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us, even though we had to get heated talking about the refs, which is something we don't normally want to do. But hopefully next week it's different, and we'll have a couple Badger basketball games. Until then, we'll see you guys next week.
Bedfellas.